Oh no, you froze. Okay, you're back.
Okay.
Okay, we are gonna start this episode. All right, so welcome back, guys. This is I don't even know what episode this is, but
27, I think.
27.
I
Okay,
don't
yeah.
even know.
But we are gonna be talking about playing to win today. Interesting topic, yeah. And before, I just want to give you guys an anecdote about how my boss yesterday he saw my podcast and he told me like, how do you guys put so many episodes out so fast? And he was like, if I were the one doing the podcast, like I would not be able to put out this many episodes. I'd be burnt out. And I literally told him, I literally told him that um, it's not that we have so many episodes. It's that the more we do, the more we say the same stuff over and over. And this is why,
Mhm.
guys, like, don't watch our podcast. Don't watch like every episode of our podcast. I think it's not a good use of your time. Like, watch a few episodes here and there because we kind of say the same things a lot and lot, like the whole goal of this podcast is to really get you guys familiar with, the mindset and the right kind of mindset you need to have in life. And once you watch a few episodes, you'll get a general gist of, what to do and apply the stuff you learn. Don't just passively listen, apply the stuff you learn.
Yeah, it's like this is the exact same reason that I diss on books all the time. Is like so many people I see just like read all these motivational books. And it's like, how many of these freaking books do you need to read to get the ideas in your head? It's like,
Yeah.
you can read probably one motivational book and they'll all say about the same stuff. And it's like
Dude, they're just
once
like
you get
literally spending their money and like they're wasting time.
Exactly. And it's funny because like you've been like conditioned to think that reading books is productive. But it's like the reality is like nothing's productive if you're not taking action. And so like if you're reading a book to help you take action, then like that's fine. But like if you're just reading all these motivational books and it's just like that gets to a point of being like that is such a waste. It's like, motivation doesn't do anything. Like nobody got rich off of being super motivated. I can watch every motivational video out there. It's never going to make me anything unless I'm actually taking action on them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
But
let's
like
talk about, let's talk about playing to
yeah.
win right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was inspired by like my post yesterday that I made, which was something along the lines of like, life is a game and you're the one on the other side of the table playing yourself. So it's like, why wouldn't you play to win?
Yeah, I think the first thing you need to do is like decide to win. You have to if you haven't decided that winning isn't the main thing, the top priority in your life, like you are guaranteed to find a way to lose. Um
Yeah.
and like it's so accurate because a lot of people, they say they want to get rich, but it's not their top priority. It's not what they want to win in. And so they'll find ways to not get rich. They'll find ways to, instead of learning how to build a business, they'll be watching Netflix. They'll find
Yeah.
ways to lose.
Yeah.
And
It's
so that's
funny.
the first step, prioritizing winning above everything else. And,
hmm
accepting that there are consequences to winning. There's consequences like sacrifices you have to make, sleep
Yeah.
time, your health maybe, um, and friendships, because you won't have enough time to hang out with a lot of the people you did before. So just these sacrifices that are going to occur.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's like, the whole purpose of life is not to just enjoy yourself. Like I
For some
remember when I
people,
was
it
younger, I
is.
used to think, yeah, but I think eventually the point is like eventually that gets super old. Whoops. But like that gets super old, and like you get a lot of these people who get depressed because all they're doing is they're spending their whole life enjoying themselves, but you don't actually get fulfilled from just enjoying yourself. Like the
Yeah, I
common
think
phrase.
I think there was like a study, a psychology study where like they measured, how how when people are happiest during the day, and they noticed that when people are at work and like doing their best, like they feel more happy. Um, yeah, people get fulfillment from, the work they do,
Mhm.
not by how much they enjoy
Yeah, it's
themselves.
really yeah. Yeah, there's an old Chinese like proverb thing. I don't remember the word that they used, but it's like, you don't go after happiness. You go after, and it starts with like the letter E. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's just like it's a mixture of like happiness and fulfillment, and like purpose. Because it's like, there are studies linking like the amount of TV that you watch to depression. Because it's like if you just spend your whole life going to parties and stuff, like that's when you feel depressed. And it's funny, because people have it so wrong. They're like, they think that like just because you're rich, you're so focused on life that like your work, that you are depressed, and it's like it's not that. It's a lot of the people that are rich and depressed are the people who are spending all their time partying because they're like, I made it, I have everything, so I'm just gonna go and do whatever. And like they don't get any fulfillment because they're not like trying to continue striving. And so it's like, I think so many times the rich people are actually the really happy ones. And those are oftentimes the better people. It's like, I'm from a tiny town. And I think I said this before, like working at Kroger as a cashier, I would talk to hundreds of people around here. And almost every time they'd be like, enjoy your high school years because it all goes downhill from here. It's like these are all people who had done anything with their lives. And so like high school is the most exciting thing they'd ever done because they had no purpose and they didn't go strive for anything. And so like if you live a life, then like being depressed is like waking up every day and thinking about like where I want to go. And I think that is just like, if you don't wake up thinking about your future and being like, this is going to be freaking insane, then like I totally see why you're depressed.
I mean, I think it depends on the person. You
Mm-hmm.
mentioned before, not everyone is not everyone is, suitable for, you know, working 24/7, like not just grinding all day, not
Yeah.
enjoying their lives. Like that's not for everyone. Y- People have to find the right fit, how much enjoyment should they have in their life and how much work should they have in their life.
Yeah.
You
But I
you
think,
have to experiment and determine, because like Andrew has huge goals, right? So, and Andrew, he realizes that if he doesn't work as hard as he does right now, or even harder, like he's not going to get to where he wants to be in the future.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I agree with that. But it's like I think you do need to find some kind of purpose. Like, it's your purpose that's gonna be different from everyone else's. And like, again, like maybe that's being just the best parent that you can be, or like, getting to the CEO in your company or whatever, or like, I don't know, whatever goal that you want to accomplish. Maybe it's graduating from college or something. But I think always setting like a new goal that you can go and hit is super valuable because like if you could accomplish something, it's like I don't remember what movie it is, but there's some movie um where at the end they like accomplish some big thing and like somebody's like, what now? Like what do I do now? Like I've accomplished something big. I don't know what to do next. And it's like it's dangerous to not set your next goal. Like I think if you're on top of the hill, they always talk about like the wolf who's climbing the hill is always hungrier than the one that's on top of the hill. So it's like you always have to be trying to like climb that hill. You always have to be trying to achieve more and like getting higher up on like whatever you want to do. It's like I think you've got to have some goal in mind that you want to achieve. I've always been somebody who would like look forward to things. Like that was how I was happy. Was like looking forward to accomplishing something or to some event or something. So if you have nothing to look forward to, then I don't know. I feel like life would just be super depressing for you.
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest I think the thing you can tell yourself to motivate you on and on is don't so you want to be better than yourself when you are the best in the
Mm-hmm.
future. You know what I'm saying? Don't strive
Mm-hmm.
to be the best at something. Strive to be better than you are when you are the best. And so that's
Yeah.
always a worthy goal to be going towards.
Yeah, that's like it's so funny because like people, I'm totally borrowing this from some famous guy, but like, when people are like, "Oh, who's your hero?" I'll never say anyone else. It is always the future me. It's like, my hero is always going to be who I can be in like 10 to 20 years. And so many people they're like, "Oh, my hero is Elon Musk or whatever." It's like it's great to admire those people, but like again, maybe this is just like for my individual goals of like wanting to be number one or whatever, but like if you're a fan, it's like you're always going to be a fan. Again, you don't hear Gary Vaynerchuk talking about how amazing Eric Thomas's content is. He even said on an interview one time, he's like, dude, I don't even like I guarantee you Eric Thomas and I have never even watched a single video of each other because like if you're at the top you don't spend all your time watching somebody else's stuff because like you're spending all your time taking action. And again, like that's going to be for only people who like really want to strive to be number one at whatever they do. um but like I think it's just like you've got to take action. And again, it's like you've got to play to win. It's like don't play your game and don't play life to just be mediocre at whatever you want to do. It's like try to find whatever you want to do and like strive for it and play to
Yeah,
like
and
beat
you have to
yourself.
like when you play to win, right? It's not just, it's not just no risk. When you play to win, there's always risk involved.
Hmm.
Um, you know, uh, I think the best example I point to is, chasing girls, right? You gotta play to win. You can't play to not lose, because when you play to not lose, you get friend zoned. And
Hmm.
but when you play to win, like you take that risk, right? And you also risk losing her as well. And so there's no middle ground involved in any of this. This is in general in life, right? There's no middle
Yeah.
ground involved when you play to win. You're either going for the big prize, or you're going for failure, and it doesn't matter. And it's those actions and behaviors that might lead to, if we're talking about the girl example, to her hating you, but it can also spark, that attraction towards you.
Hmm.
And you never know where it's going to end up, but if you always play to win, the 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 best things can also happen.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like, it's. I think I've said this before also, but like, Dan Pena is always like, dude, I get the most ass when I was younger because I would ask for it. It's like, it's like if you never try, then you're never
Wait,
going
who
to
the hell's
know.
Dan Pena?
He's like some
Is he a
ultra
rip
rich
dude?
dude.
Oh my god, dude!
No,
Fuck,
he's
dude!
like
I
old
swear, I
now.
saw this. I saw this YouTube video on this dude the other day. Oh my god, he's like the most insecure like millionaire ever.
Wait,
Like, cause
wait,
he's like,
who is it?
did you not see those videos online of him, Dan Pena?
Probably not. I don't.
This guy
Oh,
literally,
Dan
this guy
Pena.
actually exaggerates everything he says.
Wait,
Dude,
Dan
he wanted
Pena?
Dan Pena. Yeah, he literally,
He's not insecure, I swear.
he's
He
insecure. I
just
swear
does.
to God,
He does not give a
he's
crap what
he's
anyone
insecure,
thinks.
bro. Like, guarantee. Go to like YouTube. Like, there is this clip where he is yelling at this dude for like talking some shit in like one of his like fucking conferences or something, and he like gets super pissed off. And dude, like there's like these other clips too where like he tells this story about he killed a bear. He killed a bear with fucking bare
Yeah.
hands. Can you believe that? Can you believe that shit? 100% not true. He literally said he stabbed the fucking bear in the front, and then another interview later, he kind of realizes, hey, that's doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's not possible for a human to do that. So he's like, wait, I stabbed him in the back, and then you know he's kind of like
Yeah.
a shady, dodgy motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I don't necessarily. He is super insane, and I swear, like if you look at any of his stuff, it's like it's like they're always the two people that like two types of people. It's like people who you have to be really nice to them to get them motivated and be like, I'm gonna support you, whatever. Like that's what motivates them. And then there are the people that like if you really beat them down, like you're literal shit. Like you need to get your crap together. Like those are the people like that he is good for because he really beats people down. But yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's like he does, if anything, like play to win. It's I'm just like, Kevin, what would you say playing to win like means like for you in your life?
My life, playing to win. It's just like I said earlier, right? You have to playing to win means like you're high value, and like high value behavior, playing to win. Not giving a fuck what other people think about you,
Yeah,
and like it's these traits that make I think these traits make someone attractive, and also they give you a greater edge when it comes to success, because you have that resiliency and hard-headedness in the tough times. And the
yeah,
fact that you're willing to take risks, um you know it's a good indicator that you've gotten social feedback in the past, out of the actions that you've done. And
mhm,
it's knowing that even if you've gotten rejection, um like you are strong enough to handle that.
yeah. And I think another big part of it actually is like if you're playing to win, you're not settling. It's like I'm going to win, and that is what I want.
Mhm.
It's like I'm not going to settle for second place or third place or fourth place. It's I'm going for number one at like whatever that is. But like it's like the general idea is like you don't settle. It's like if you want a certain type of girl to date or guy to date or whatever, it's like you don't lower your standard. It's like I'm going for this, and I don't care if some really attractive person comes up to me. If they are not what I'm looking for, then it doesn't matter. It's like you're not going to
Okay, let
settle
me
for a
let me let me say something. I think a common scenario that happens is a lot of guys, they want to get that like super hot girl, right? So
yeah,
they want to get that super hot girl, but then like they're capable of doing it, right? I think that a lot of guys, they are capable of getting hot girls, but they always consider, because they're not playing to win, they're playing to not lose. And when you play to not lose, I think they're really considering the ramifications afterwards, after they start dating, right? Because they
Yeah.
know they have a hot girl, and they're afraid that they might not be able to keep her because of how because of how much trouble she can bring in with other guys, right? Because a lot of other guys will be attracted to her while you're dating her, and it's that insecurity that develops afterwards that causes a lot of people to play to not win, play to not lose instead of playing to win. But when you play to win, you don't give a flying fuck about that.
Hmm.
You have confidence in yourself that she won't go for someone else while you're dating her, and it's that confidence that stems out of everything, and whatever you want to win at, you have to decide you have to decide you want to win and understand what that means
Hmm. Yeah, I
specifically to
think.
you, like understand all the unintended consequences that come out of striving to win, and just embrace them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I think when you have nice things, it's so easy to get into a mindset of being comfortable and stuff. It's like, it's like, this is why, frankly, a lot of the ultra attractive girls or guys are like super shallow or just aren't the kind of people that you would want to be with because like they've had it nice for so long because they're naturally attractive and stuff. And so like for them, it's just like, that's all that matters. And a lot of times they're super insecure because they're so used to looking ultra good that if they don't, it's like the end of the world for them. And so like that's why the whole saying of like, the super attractive people are oftentimes like, it's really hard to find a super attractive girl and like a girl that has a good mindset or whatever. And it's like that can partially be true a lot of the times because of that. And it's like, but like the reality is like you'll never know unless you try. And it's like, if you're playing chess, you're never going to know if you can take their king if you're not going to try. Like imagine if you're like, this strategy that I want to try out is like super unlikely. It's probably not going to work. I'm probably going to fail. So I'm just not going to try it. And it's like, well, then you might end up losing the game because you prolong it. And it's like, this,
You
this
gotta
is
have
so
like
big
a
on.
you got to have like a abundance mindset. You have to have the
Hmm.
mindset where it's not win or lose. It's the fact that you are perfecting your strategy, and you know that you can play a bunch of other games after, and this game is just one of those games that will help you get better as a player in chess. And when you have that abundance mindset, you're like, this is just another game. It doesn't matter if I try something insanely insane that might go right or might go extremely wrong. And
Hmm.
you have that mindset, and you don't get caught up in that one game, and there's a lot of other games in the future waiting for you to improve on.
Yeah. Yeah. This is actually a really good point. Is like, life is like one gigantic game, but within that, there are so many other mini games. And it's like, never compare your mini game to like someone's end game of like, their whole life. You might be like 15 and you look at like a 12-year-old who's like somehow started some multi-million-dollar business or something. And you're just like, shit, man, I feel like nothing compared to this person. And it's like, they've probably been doing that for years. It's probably not their first rodeo. And so like, give yourself some time. Like you could very possibly be right up to where you want to be. Like, like 2 years ago, I would look at who I am now and I'd be like, dude, I am nothing to this kid. But like it took me a year to get to the level I'm at now. And I'm still honestly not even at much. And so like, it's like, don't compare yourself at all to other people's. Because like, everybody's playing their own game. And it's like you might fail with one girl, but then once you find another one, it's like that how you did on that first game doesn't matter at all. And we're not objectifying girls. Never take it that way. But this is just an analogy of like, winning in life.
Yeah. Yep. Kind of just blanked out, but I was gonna say something. What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
Oh, I was okay. I remember. So yeah, like a lot of what we said so far, it sounds like really intangible. At least a few things. I think most of this stuff you can apply in your own life, but like we want to give you guys some actionable tips this time instead of just saying all this abstract stuff. And so really you have to, like, the first step, right, is to look at your own life. What do you want to win in? Decide what you want to win in. Like for Andrew, it's like his business, right? He wants to win in his business. And so he's devoting a lot of his time towards business and talking to other people, forming connections. And for me, my winning, I want to win in, you know, coding. I want to win in building iOS apps. And so I've been devoting most of my time towards, coding great apps and, putting my work out there, marketing my work, And yeah, just yesterday, I put out a post on Reddit because I made this scrollable, foldable, expandable list in a new language released by Apple. And, it gained a lot of traction, but and a lot of people, they liked the post. And, it was, and, that's like, I thought it was pretty cool. That's one of the posts that blew up. And there's other posts that I've made on Reddit and other sites that haven't gone as big or haven't gone as noticed. And you have to be fine with that when you play to win. Like this is, I wouldn't say it's a consequence, but it's something you have to prepare your mind for. Like sometimes you'll work really hard on a piece of work, and a lot of people might not recognize it, and you have to be okay with that. You have to not give a shit about what you do. Just approach, just do it. Just like what Nike
Hmm.
says, just do it.
Yeah.
And recognize what might happen, and prepare yourself for that. And just start striving to win.
Yeah, and I think it's also really important because it's like, Simon Sinek always said, it's like, you know, in so many things, especially in like business and stuff, and this applies to life, it's like, there is no metric to win. So it's like, it's not how successful you are monetarily. It's not how many friends you make. It's not how many kids you have. It's none of this stuff. It's something that you set for yourself. And it's like, you just have to keep playing. And it's like, the reality is, you don't ever lose until you say you lose. That's the nice thing about life is like, as long as you keep trying, there's no way to lose because like you can always like your next business might still do really well. It's your next relationship might do really well. But the day you stop trying is the day you lose. And it's like, and
I
if you
think
die,
I think there's a
well,
fine line between working hard and doing it, and working smart and making smart choices. You shouldn't just do the same thing over and over that
mhm,
failed. You have to be critical
yeah,
about your actions.
yeah, I
So
agree.
just
And
a
I think
caveat.
yeah, and I think like as you do things more, it's like, I talk about like if you start 15 businesses, one of them is bound to probably do well eventually. And it's like the big thing there is like you're starting a lot of them, yes, but you're also learning with each one. And so like by the 15th one, you probably learned so much that you probably have a decent idea of what you're doing. And it's not like you trying the same stuff over and over again. It's you learning and then iterating and trying new things. One strategy, it works, great. This works. Let's try something else that might work as well. If it doesn't work, then okay, it doesn't work. Um, and it's like, the chess game is never over until you say it's over. Honestly, life is never over until you stop. And it's like, it's not about the individual wins or losses. It's not about that individual business or that individual person or that individual chess game. It's about winning in the long term over. And I actually have great experience with this. With ping pong, it's like the first like 20 times Kevin and I played ping pong, I smacked him every single time. Like not even close. But then like over time, he started getting better and better and started beating me too. And so it's like, the game is never over until you die, honestly. And so, like, as long as you
Yeah.
keep trying and learning over and over again, you're going to keep improving and you'll eventually win.
Yeah, just so you know, like you cut off for like I missed like 3/4 of your glorious speech earlier.
Darn,
I'm
that's
sure it was
disappointing.
good. I know you cut
Yeah.
off.
We'll have to check
Damn.
that in the recording.
I know it sucks. Man, it sounded good though. Sounded good though. Sounded
the
pretty good.
annoying parts of the annoying parts of not being in person.
Yeah. When we get back on campus, are we gonna do this like in person? Hopefully we are,
I
right?
think I think it,
In
yeah, I think it'd
person
be better.
sounds
And
like so much better then.
they have the whole studio there, yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's like the stuff with all. I remember when we were thinking about like college stuff, or about like the summer, and we were like, how are we gonna do this over the summer together? And like we
Yeah, and
just
then
like
Zoom.
figured it
Zoom is
out.
so
Yeah,
good.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
another thing with people, like anyone listening, is like a lot of the times you're gonna have no idea what's gonna happen. Uh, and most of the time the answer is a lot simpler than you think. Like we were just like so close as to how we're gonna do this virtually. And then we like found Zoom, like, oh, this is actually not even that hard to do
Hmm.
virtually. So like you'll learn along the way. And so often people try to flex on you for doing things that they do. Like, I have so many friends that build
It's
messaging apps
committing
or
first
something.
and then figuring out what to do later.
Yeah, but just like don't let people flex on you for the things that they do, especially because like you're gonna do them eventually, most likely. Like we're programmers, and there are like people that are younger than us who have built things that are way more impressive. And it's like a lot of the times those things, number one, aren't as impressive as they sound. I remember like people who would talk about building messaging apps. And I used to be like, oh my gosh, that would be so hard. And then now I realize you can write one in like 50 lines of code
Yeah, it's
really
not that
easily.
hard.
And so
Like
like,
people over
yeah,
exaggerate how
exactly.
hard something is when they haven't done it. I forget the term,
Yeah.
but there's a term for this sort of effect.
hmm
You know?
Yeah, and it's like I think that's been a big point of me lately is like really trying to make myself come off in a way that's super equal to everyone. Because I talked to this guy a little while ago. He was running this event and he was just putting everyone down and like clearly was trying to show that he was like the alpha in the room, which ironically he wasn't. Because he wasn't even
Insecure,
yeah, he
insecure
wasn't even.
much.
Well, it's just really funny because like he wasn't even that accomplished, and it's funny because like so many times you think you're the alpha in the room and you're really not. Like somebody else is just way way more confident than you, and they don't feel like they need to flex on you, and so like so many times you're like I'm the alpha in the room, but you're really not, and then you'll get exposed for it later on, and so like
I mean, that's another
be
example of
careful about that.
playing to not lose instead of playing to win. If you're
hmm
playing to win, you wouldn't give a crap about how others perceive you. When you're playing not to lose, you want to look better than you actually are. You know, and there's a lot
Yeah,
of people that are bullshitting online, especially
yes, yeah,
in the self help space. A lot of these motivational speakers,
yeah,
you know, that haven't done shit, and you
yeah,
know, it's really funny just watching these guys trying to give you motivation just by reciting the things, you know, that they haven't actually experienced, and they're telling
hmm
you that, you know, this is the right way, and that, you know, and mostly
yeah.
the stuff they say are things that, you know, they think that you will want to hear.
Yeah. And it's really funny because it's like I don't know. I respect life coaches and stuff and whatever, but it is funny when you have like 20-year-old life coaches who haven't done anything, who are trying to coach people in life. And it's like, I think we need to
20-year
I
old
think the most
gurus.
important thing yeah, it's like I think the most important thing that any life coach can tell you is like literally stuff that we say in this podcast. It's like you do you. There is no right answer. And it's like and anytime you want to improve on something, you have to do it. You're not going to get shy by reading a book or
Yeah,
listening to some video.
I feel like they most of these life coaches, most of these people selling courses online are just preying on weaker people that aren't as mentally fortified.
hmm
And you know, yeah, to our viewers, right? Don't fall into these traps. Like all these online courses about self-help, self-development, they're not going to help you at all. I guarantee you,
hmm
they are not. They are just there to, you know, cash in your credit card and, you know, get your money. I guarantee
Yeah,
you.
and
You just need to listen to,
exactly.
like, if you listen to a few episodes of a podcast, maybe like one every week, like we guarantee you, like that will do more than just listening to an episode of a podcast and applying that to action, applying that in your own life. That
Yeah,
will do much more. That'll go along. That will go a long way more than paying money for these courses. You don't need to pay money for self
yeah.
help. You got to experience yourself.
Yeah, and it's like even if you don't listen to this podcast or like some other podcast, it's like the reality is like I think paying for most kinds of information nowadays is stupid because like the information you need to know is online somewhere for free. Like that's the reality. Is like this is one of the reasons that I really despise college. Is like, you pay like $20,000 a year to go to a college to get taught something when literally the exact same information is online. Like my brother is self-taught, aerospace, and it's like all of the information that he needed to know was 100% online, and he
I think
taught
in the
himself
future
all of that.
there's going to be a I think in the future there's going to be a bigger shift towards um, online courses like
Mhm.
Khan Academy.
Yeah,
Like Khan Academy really started uh, the huge revolution towards online learning, online
yeah.
free or online cheap learning, like through Udemy and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like the reality is like, hiring somebody, at least in my opinion, hiring somebody who's shown that, maybe they didn't graduate high school, but they've shown that they are willing to go out and teach themselves everything they need to know for something. That is way more impressive than somebody who is just like everyone else and went through a college education. Like, honestly, like, I would much rather hire somebody who, like, taught themselves things because they've worked hard. They've been through a ton of crap to get to where they are. I'd rather have somebody like that than people who are just like going through the education system, you know? Or at least
Definitely.
somebody who's like doing stuff on their on like their own, like, you know, starting a podcast, starting businesses, like trying
Oh no,
as much as possible. Yeah.
you cut off. Andrew just cut off again. That's great. That's great. Just gonna sit here, wait for him to come back.
To people. I talked to this dude earlier today, and he was like, "Dude, I love what you do. Set up a call or something as well. Priorities, and like what you want to do." And eventually, we ended up setting up a call. But it was just like, you know, it's all about those priorities.
Yeah, dude, are you
Did I
back?
cut off
Okay,
again
cool.
too?
You cut off. Yeah. Thank God. Okay, we're gonna wrap this podcast up. Okay, you're back.
Sorry.
Okay, we are
Yeah.
gonna wrap this up because Andrew keeps cutting off. So, are you in your room?
It's not my. No, I'm in like the normal room. I don't know why the Wi-Fi is so bad today.
God damn it! Next time you do this,
Which is
go
annoying.
to your like kitchen, bro.
I don't know. Well, it's annoying because like I have a live interview later on today too, so I can't really cut out for that one.
Do you ever
And,
cut off in interviews?
I usually don't, but
Okay,
I don't
cool.
know.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up, guys. Thank you guys for listening to this episode where we talked about winning first, right? Winning first really entails knowing what kinds of things, knowing, you know, just knowing what kind of sacrifices you're gonna have to make, and taking that action. Always taking that action.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you know, give us a review if you like the episode. Give us a sub if you loved it, and we are going to see you guys next time. And check us out on Spotify, Stitcher, and Apple iTunes. Why do I say Apple iTunes? I should just say iTunes.
I don't know.
And yeah, we will see you guys next time.
Share with your friends
Bye.
too. See ya.